All right. So Destiny has lost his mind. I don't know if you don't know who Destiny is. He is a leftist Twitch streamer. He has lost his mind, saying that Charlie Kirk deserved to be killed and doubling down on it. Not only has he doubled down on it on Piers Morgan, but he has also said that conservatives should be afraid of dying. That's fucked up. We also have a a bomb placed on a Fox News van or near a Fox News van, and then I want to get into at the end. I want to get into a video of a father fighting a bear to protect his family, as good men should. Because as much as I want to talk about all the Charlie Kirk stuff and all the stories going on around that, I also want to get back to things that don't make me sad. There's a lot of news that makes me sad, and talking about Charlie all the time, especially talking about the people that go after him like this, it is very upsetting, and it's beginning to take a toll. The amount of people that are just being negative and horrible people about it. I'm still going to call them out, but I don't think we're going to see entire episodes dedicated to that. It'll be a quick call out, and then we're going to get on with other news. So this first video I'm going to play, I don't think this is. I don't think that. Just to be clear, I don't think this is anything against Charlie Kirk. I do think this is a coincidence. There was a vote on September 10th regarding the release of the Epstein files, and it was voted down. So they voted to not release the Epstein files on the same day that Charlie was shot. I think this was a coincidence. I'm going to be honest. I'm usually I would say something like this. No way, not a coincidence. But I'm going to say this time I think it was a coincidence. Let's hear what Mr. JD Delay says.
10th, the United States Senate voted 51 to 49 to block the release of the Epstein files. Let me repeat that. On September 10th, that is the date that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I don't mean to take away from the significance at all whatsoever of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, but I find it highly suspect that this was voted on the exact same time that he was assassinated and that it was voted down by the Republicans. Does that seem a little coincidental to anybody else, or is that just me? Let me know down in the comments. September 10th.
Now, usually JD Delay is not a very political guy. He's a very anti-pedophile, which I like and respect. Keep that up. I really think this time it was just a coincidence. I don't think there was. I don't think there was a thing. I'll play it again with the volume up because it was kind of quiet.
10th, the United States Senate voted 51 to 49 to block the release of the Epstein files. Let me repeat that. On September 10th, that is the date that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I don't mean to take away from the significance at all whatsoever of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, but I find it highly suspect that this was voted on the exact same time that he was assassinated and that it was voted down by the Republicans. Does that seem a little coincidental to anybody else, or is that just me? Let me know down in the comments. September.
So I would think it would be more coincidental if it was voted down by the left. And then, because the insinuation would be that Republicans had Charlie Kirk killed to hide the Epstein files, I guess. Yeah, I don't think that happened. I don't think that's what was going on here. I do believe this was actually a coincidence. I really think this one was a coincidence. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't think. I really don't think. Especially with how close Charlie Kirk was to the Trump administration, I don't think that they would have been whacking Charlie Kirk to hide the fact that they're voting down releasing the Epstein. I don't think these two things are connected. I think any other circumstances, I would say, yeah, there's a connection here, but I just don't think that's the case this time. I really don't. But anyway, let's get into the big news here. Destiny is a raving lunatic. we're gonna unfortunately listen to 6 minutes of this madman talk.
Destiny joins us now. Destiny, you've been quite active on social media since Charlie Kirk's death. When Erica Kirk posted Charlie's coffin, you responded, she tagged him, brackets, crying face emojis. In response to Alina Haber's tweet ordering people to fly their flags at half-mast in memory of Charlie, you posted on X buying flags and poles just to fly them fully erect. And you then posted yesterday, ending every conservative debate call out I'd do in 2026 with "Don't dodge, bro." That's not what Charlie would have wanted. I mean, do you think that your response to the cold-blooded murder of Charlie Kirk has been appropriate?
Yes. I think that the only way this country moves forward into a better world is when conservatives can finally realize that they need to turn the temperature.
I just want to point out, did you see the look on this woman's face? She's just like, bro, are you fucking kidding me?
Down on their side. We are 10 years into whatever this Trump madness is, and there is not a single mainstream conservative that will call for a lowering of the temperature on their side. I think that liberals need to wake up and finally realize that if they're not willing to do it, it will never come down.
The reason there's nobody on the right willing to lower the temperature is because we're not the ones raising the temperature. It's the left. Over and over and over again. The left are killing conservatives, not the other way around.
If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump shouldn't have been president for the second term. Every time he's in office, this happens. People.
If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump should have been president for a second term. That's what he just said. Insinuating that the only reason Charlie Kirk was murdered is because Trump won. Insinuating that every time the left loses, they're going to kill people. That seems well adjusted. There's another point he's going to make here that I want to.
If Donald Trump shouldn't have been president for the second term. Every time he's in office, this happens. People joked about when Biden came in, it was so boring, nothing was going on. 7 out of 10 of the largest protests in American history have happened under Donald Trump. All of the recent political violence that's happened in this country over the past 20 years, the majority of it, the overwhelming majority of it, everybody gets mad because they keep asking Grok about it, has been conservative.
Who shot Charlie Kirk?
A guy from Utah who was raised in a Christian family, who was a 22-year-old
guy described.
So he said that the worst riots, the most political violence has come when Trump was president. You think that Trump is causing the violence? The answer here is pretty obvious. The left is causing the violence because they've lost. The left is being more and more violent, increasingly dangerous, because they didn't get their way. They're a bunch of children throwing temper tantrums. And instead, Destiny's going to sit here and say, no, what's happening is Trump got elected, and Trump supporters are being violent because they won? That makes no sense. That is one of the dumbest statements I could ever imagine somebody making. Destiny's not an intelligent person.
Destiny.
He didn't have a trans girlfriend. He didn't have any trans influences. Right. He didn't have any trans bullets. Yeah, I'm sorry. You guys were wrong on all of that.
To be clear, the governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, has made it clear that their investigation has now established that he had been radicalized by a leftist ideology, which drove him to do this. That's just
I'm sorry. Excuse me. When?
So I'm not a big Piers Morgan fan, but good on him for calling Destiny out on this. Also, everything Destiny said there about the shooter was a lie. The shooter was dating or engaged in a relationship with a male turning female. I don't know what the proper terminology is. YouTube, it's not hate speech. I don't know what the proper terminology is. A male becoming female. I don't know. I don't care what the proper terminology for that is. There were trans and anti-fascist engravings on the casings of the bullets. That's a fact. That's proven by ATF. ATF said we found the weapon and it was engraved in such a way. That's the truth of the matter. There is no two ways about that. And Stephen here, Destiny, is still going to continue to say, no, that's not true. That's not true. It is true. You can look at the ATF's documents. Not that I trust the ATF all too much, but I think in this case, yeah, I would believe it.
Yesterday, you said that. the
No.
governor.
When was he radicalized? In the 6 months that he did remote college? Not
I don't know when he was
radicalized.
radicalized, but I do know.
What you just said
I do
is not
know
true.
the very
No, that's
reasonable
not true.
sounding governor of Utah
No.
has made
No,
it
it's not
clear
true.
that the
No, he
event.
hasn't made it
You may
clear.
not want to.
See, this is what the left does every time. People on the left do this over and over and over again. No, it's not true. No, it's not. It's not true. It's not true. Don't let him speak. Just keep saying no, it's not true until he gives up. That's what the left does time and time again. This man is a lunatic.
This is an ongoing investigation.
You may not want to hear it, Destiny,
Piers.
but the reality is the investigators, according to the governor of Utah, have established that he was radicalized to a leftist ideology that drove him to murder Charlie Kirk. Now, let me just ask you.
That's just not true.
Let me just
There's
ask
no
you.
way to deal with it.
Okay,
You're living in a
accusing the
delusional
governor of
fantasy.
lying.
Yeah.
That's your prerogative. But
Sure.
if it turns out to have been somebody with a leftist ideology who wanted to shut up Charlie Kirk, would you condemn that?
I won't condemn anything until the president of the United States can go on air and say, all of us need to calm down.
So
The
you
fact
won't
that
condemn
he can
the-
go,
Again, nobody on the right is killing people.
murder of
Fox and
Charlie
Friends.
Kirk
I'm
until
just-
Donald Trump says
Piers,
something.
I'm a YouTuber. Leftists and Democrats have been condemning and turning down the temperature, condemning violence, turning down the temperature for a decade. Donald Trump can't go on TV and say, all of us need to calm down.
Right.
Can you tell me why he cannot?
Why
tell
would you
his side
expect
to
anybody,
calm down?
Destiny?
You
What-
can't answer that. Can you answer that question? Why
Okay,
can't
can
Trump
you
go on
answer
TV
this
and say,
question?
all of us should be...
I'll answer the question. Because nobody on the right is radical and violent. Nobody on the right is trying to kill people. That's why Trump won't go on Fox and Friends and say we need to turn the temperature down. Because the right isn't the ones turning the temperature up.
Less violent.
Why do you
can't
think?
Trump say that?
Why do you
Why is
think?
your
Trump say
behavior
that? I feel
contingent
like
on Donald
I'm
Trump?
insane right now.
Why
Why
do you
is
think?
your
No, let me
behavior
ask a
contingent
question.
on Donald Trump?
Let me
Why
ask
is
a
that?
question.
Because he's the president of the United States of America and the leader of the
Yeah,
opposing
Destiny.
political party.
Destiny. Let me
You
just.
have a huge audience of young men who
I'm a
listen to
YouTuber
everything you have to
who
say.
has more
So
young
when
men
you,
following
it
him.
doesn't
Who
matter.
has
You have a
more young-
huge
it doesn't
audience,
matter.
and because
This
of
is
the fact that
world
you have a
I'm
huge
living in,
audience,
and
you
your
have
brain
a
has been
responsibility
broken by
to
online
not turn.
rhetoric.
No,
And
it
your
hasn't.
brain
It
has
hasn't been
been
broken. I actually
destroyed
care
because
about the
people
country
bully you
and
on
want to bring
Twitter.
people together.
If
You
then
do the
you should tell
opposite.
Donald
You
Trump to
represent
tell
the
people
worst
to
of us,
be
Destiny.
less
You're
violent.
embarrassing.
You should tell
You're
Donald.
embarrassing.
All right, let me ask
Watch how
Destiny
easy
a
this is.
question.
Watch how easy this
No,
is.
hang on.
If
Don't
Donald
all
Trump
shout
would've
at
come out
once,
and say-
please.
If Donald Trump would have come out
Destiny,
and say, "Hey, we should
I-
all be less violent,"
Destiny,
I have no problem saying.
I have one
absolutely.
question for you,
Why
Destiny.
can't conservatives do that? Why
Destiny.
can't
This dude smoking the cigarette, bro, I feel it. I quit smoking a long time ago. But holy fuck. If I was this guy, I'd be smoking too. I'm surprised that I'm glad I didn't watch this beforehand because this would have made me smoke.
conservatives do that?
Destiny, I have a question for you. Why do you think, in your campaign for everyone to dial down the temperature, why do you think that mocking the grieving widow of Charlie Kirk when she posts an image of her at the coffin side, why do you think that constitutes turning down the temperature?
You can't turn down the temperature on your own. The president of the United
You
States is
inflame the
not
temperature.
able
You're
to-
mocking
No,
his
it's
widow.
already inflamed.
You're
What are you
mocking his
talking
widow.
about? We've had multiple political assassinations over the past year.
And they've all been of people on the right assassinated by the left.
What do you mean? It's turning up the temperature.
Why did you
to
mock
fight
his
something
widow?
Online
Ever.
because
Why
she's
did you
being
mock his
wielded
widow?
as because she's being used as a political weapon right now
Wow.
for conservatives to continue their fight. What do you mean? Wow, she's literally doing.
Her husband
recruitment
just got
ads
murdered.
on email. Yeah, and she's using it to drive up recruitment for
And
a
you
political
can't even
movement.
condemn the murder. You won't
The
condemn
president
it.
can't even tell his side
You're
to
so
turn the temperature
deranged
down.
about Trump
are,
that you
are
cannot condemn the
unhinged.
murder
It is such a
because you're
joke,
waiting
and
for
you guys
Donald
sit here
Trump
and
to say
make money
something.
off of-
Welcome to the right, Piers, because I really I don't think Piers Morgan was ever like a right winger, but welcome to the right because you just became one by simply saying that Destiny is out of fucking control.
It's
All right, let me bring
crazy
in
to
let me
that
bring in Jack.
Republicans can't
Let me
do
bring
it.
in let me bring in
What a
Jack
joke of the
Posobiec.
world.
I gotta
And there
say,
will be there's still no answer to that question, Piers. You can't say
Which question?
Why can't Donald Trump simply go on TV and say we all need to turn it down,
Fine.
like Biden could, like Obama could,
Fine.
like the Clintons could, like Kamala could? Why
Fine.
not?
why can't you condemn the murder of
See,
Charlie
it's
Kirk?
unbelievable. I'm not the president
Why
of the United
can't
States.
you
answer that
condemn
question.
the
It's
murder of Charlie
unbelievable.
Kirk?
Unbelievable to me.
Why can't you condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk?
Because it wasn't my side that caused it. It should
Yes,
be the
it
one that
was.
is driving up
It
the
actually
rhetoric.
was
You
your
don't know
side
it's
that
not even
caused
true.
it. It
This
was
an
your
18
side.
This guy was raised in a white
He was
Christian
a
household,
radicalized
in a Christian
leftist
state.
ideology.
He wasn't radicalized by leftism at all. You have no proof of that whatsoever.
That's what
Just
the
like
investigators
the one that killed
are
Melissa
saying.
was a conservative, just like the people that firebombed Shapiro's house was a conservative, just like all the J6ers were conservative.
The people that firebombed Josh Shapiro's house, the governor's mansion, were not conservative. Nobody firebombs. Nobody on the right does anything. Conservatives sit on their hands. It's my biggest complaint about conservatives. They don't do anything. And this lunatic's was sitting here ranting and raving, saying, "Oh no, the right killed Charlie Kirk. The right tried to kill Governor Josh Shapiro. Why? That makes no sense."
Just like the Proud Boys were conservatives. Every single one of these people. Oh, it's
Jack said not a conservative, was a pro-Palestinian activist out of Harrisburg that burned down Josh Shapiro's mansion.
Sobek, what, the author of Unhuman, another person that Charlie's part of? Good one, dude.
Well, I'll give you one last chance, Destiny, to condemn the murder of Charlie
Yes, you
Kirk.
are acting like an unhuman.
Why can't I hear Donald Trump condemn violence in this
all
country?
right, you won't
Why can't I
condemn
hear
it. Okay, we've
I
all
can't hear it.
heard.
That's insane
We've
to
all
me.
heard you repeatedly refuse to
And
condemn
we've
it.
heard Donald Trump refuse to condemn it
Jack
too. But for
Posobiec.
some reason, the leftists on YouTube are a bigger deal. Unbelievable.
Yeah. What's incredible is you don't have the basic humanity to condemn it. You'd rather taunt his widow. I find that sickening. Jack Posobiec.
I find it sickening that when people are getting killed in the country, the president of the United States on Fox and Friends, when they're begging him, what do you say to your followers that want revenge? He says, I don't know. All the elections are rigged. It's the radical Democrats. That's insane to me. And then the fixation is, well, who on Twitter and YouTube isn't condemning the violence?
Dude's a lunatic. Dude is a lunatic. Here, I've got more proof.
I'm ready for the fucking...
Joining me now is the
cleansing,
author of groundbreaking works, international bestsellers, his latest on democracy.
I thought we were done with that. I'm sorry.
I'm ready for the fucking... the great cleansing, dude.
Cleansing?
The cleansing.
What cleansing?
When we genocide conservatives in this country.
Are you going to be out in the streets with your Glock?
Maybe. I gotta go back to Nebraska and grab it. I'm ready for the fucking... the great cleansing, dude.
Don't believe me yet? Don't believe me that the left is the dangerous ones?
Out the crime statistics? Not exactly like...
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. The issue is right now, they don't feel like there's any fear. Like, I don't know. It's like memes. It's just memes to everybody, I guess. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't care. I'm playing video games. Okay, I'm done today. I don't give a fuck. God, it's gonna be so fucking gay if I get killed in the next fucking 2 months of shit I'm doing. Well, the cucked shit out here. Please don't anybody make any actual fucking, the most cucked, weak ass, fucking bullshit ass speeches on my side. God, if it happens, holy shit, I'm gonna make a death note before I go out to go live and not. God, it's so cucked. It's so optics cucked.
He's really obsessed with being cucked. I think he might
Out the crime statistics.
Which is why I don't give a fuck about conservatives have been disgusting for years, which is why I don't give a fuck about anybody that winds up at any of these rallies and gets shot or whatever the fuck, okay? Because they had no problem making fun of Paul Pelosi. The entire world would be better off if these people were permanently removed from these platforms. Like, there is no downside and only upside to see people like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Tim Pool never be allowed to publicly broadcast their opinions ever again. It's exclusively bad stuff that happens.
Tim Pool's not even conservative. Like, if I were to rank Tim as a conservative, he'd be a fucking 6 at best. Like, this dude is unfucking hinged. This dude is... Look at this. Even the Nazis weren't this blatant. In what? They genocided people. What has the right done? Aside from sit on their hands. Like, what? This dude's a lunatic. This dude is a lunatic, and people like this cause stories like this. From CNN, 2 men arrested after incendiary device found under local Fox TV news van in Utah. People like Destiny saying this absurd nonsense are the reason people decide to plant bombs under Fox News vans. As a conservative type person, I have to say Fox News is about as milquetoast as it gets. Fox News never goes far enough. Fox News is basically just sitting there, whoa, wait a minute. You want to genocide people, but can we talk about it first? We'll still let you do it. Can we at least talk about it first? Like, can we that's all Fox News does. Fox News never pushes back. Fox News never says, no, we're not doing that. Fox News is about as middle of the road fence sitter as it gets as far as I'm concerned. They don't go far enough. But let's read the story. 2 suspects are in custody after an incendiary device was found under a vehicle belonging to KSTU, a local TV station known as Fox 13 News Utah. The incendiary device had been lit but failed to function as designed, according to court records obtained by CNN affiliate KUTV. The device was discovered in Salt Lake City on Friday, 2 days after Charlie Kirk was assassinated at Utah Valley University, about 45 minutes south of the Utah Capitol. KUTV reported that 2 suspects were arrested after FBI agents and local bomb squads converged on a home in Magna, Utah. Additional explosives, along with firearms, illegal narcotics, and other paraphernalia were found in the home, according to court records. Photos and videos from the scene showed anti-Trump signs on display outside the home. Of course they did. How much more crazy does it have to get before someone says enough is enough and this tones down? Because the left continues to be more and more extreme and radical. And the right is sitting on their hands going, oh, well, I can't say that because people might think that I'm calling for violence or that I'm being hateful. We're past that. Steven Crowder has been calling for people to violently defend themselves from this, from the left. And I'm kind of starting to agree, man. Like, I don't want to call for violence because I don't think that solves this. But if you are in a situation with these people where you have to defend yourself, it has to be as violent as possible. You have to, there is no taking chances at this point. These people will kill you because of what you think. If you are confronted by people like this, I'm afraid that they're going to make it so the only option is violence. I can't wait for that to get clipped out of context. The right never does anything. The right never goes far enough. I don't know why the right never does anything. Conservatives just sit on their hands. Conservatives don't ever do anything. They are pathetic. And here we have people like Destiny saying we need to genocide conservatives. We need to... And then here's the crazy part. He says we need to genocide conservatives and then calls you a Nazi because you don't agree with abortion. This dude just said genocide conservatives and then said you're a Nazi because you don't believe in abortion? He just called for genociding people. I mean, this dude is unhinged. This dude is a lunatic. This dude's rhetoric is pushing stories like this where people are trying to bomb Fox News vans. I mean, at what point? And Fox News doesn't go very far right. Charlie Kirk wasn't super far right. Nobody that they're targeting is far right. Tim Pool is not far right. I couldn't name somebody who's far right. Donald Trump is a 90s Democrat, for God's sake. There is nobody that's far right. I'd have to say fucking Phil Labonte is the most far-right person I've heard with his close the border, deport everyone, and keep the border closed for 10 years. That's the most far-right stance I've heard in a long time. And I'm not saying, don't target Phil Labonte. I don't think that would end well for you. It's just, man, it's crazy the way they just want to They just want to push this divisive narrative. And then the left wants to sit there and say, well, the right is the ones being violent and divisive. Who have we called Nazis? Who have we called threats to democracy? Who have we called Hitler? Who have we called any of the... Pick the buzzword. Racist, fascist. Pick the buzzword. Pick one. Who has the right ever called that? Nobody. Ever. Even when Biden was being a fascist, and when Biden was being dictatorial, when Biden tried to decree the 28th Amendment, we didn't sit there and say Biden's a fascist. When they pushed Biden out the door and he went, hey, the 28th Amendment, it's a thing now. I don't remember what he said it was, but it was some complete nonsense. And we still did not say, oh yeah, Biden's a fascist. Anyway, I digress. Let's get off this topic because it's very stressful. I think my hair is going to start fucking falling out or turning gray on camera. Let's watch this interview. Holy shit, this dude fought a bear. Not this dude. This dude did not fight a bear. This dude is interviewing the dude that fought a bear. Let's hear from the dude that fought the bear.
Back to the channel. If you were on social media in the last couple weeks, you saw a viral video of a dude who goes down to investigate a bump in the night, see an intruder, and that intruder happened to be a very large black bear. The guy who shot the bear, we've got him on the horn. You're going to meet him and we're going to talk about this amazing viral moment. We're going to watch the video and then I'll introduce you to Earl, the shooter of black bears. Here we go.
Imagine being this guy who thinks someone's breaking into his house and comes face to face with a black bear. I would shit my pants. Like this dude, stone cold. Let's watch.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Was that door open?
No, give me the screen. And you can hear he's just having a conversation.
Hey, stay there. It's okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
I will say this is a huge argument for suppressors. A lot of people say, I don't want a suppressor for a home defense situation because I want as much bump in the night as I can, so someone calls the cops and they get there quicker than me dealing with the threat and then calling the cops afterwards. I don't know, man. This guy's just having a conversation with his wife.
You okay, Marty?
Yeah.
Earl, what's happening? Thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, John, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Very few people have shot bears.
You couldn't see it, but over here in the caption underneath me, it said, bear slaying home protector. That's hilarious.
And I think you're the only one I've ever heard of that shot a black bear in their home. How's that make you feel, bro?
Well, I've actually been trying to hunt black bear for a while and had some close calls trying to get something actually hunting. Never actually got one, and not how I wanted to shoot my first bear. So a little sad for the bear, but, I really didn't have a choice. It was in my kitchen. It charged me. What are you going to do?
Wow. All right. So can you walk us through the circumstances of what happened? Kind of what time was it? Were you in bed or?
So in bed, it was about 4 a.m., bump in the night. My wife actually wakes me up and, here's some rustling in the kitchen. I'm not sure what's going on. I do have a pretty good security system. So I check my security cameras, no vehicles coming onto the property, no people on the property, no people in the house. So not quite sure what's going on. Go grab my rifle, figure I'll go check it out, see what it is. Going downstairs, head into the kitchen, look in the pantry. I can kind of hear something, step into what looks like it's our living room, but it's also attached to the kitchen. And there's a couple countertops between me and the bear. I see the bear over by our trash can, obviously what a bear is going to go for. And then I keep moving to try to get a shot on it. And that's when it runs right at me. And anyway, I started blasting.
Wow. All right. I want to get to that. How did the bear get in? Is it like MacGyver, Ocean's 12 picking locks, or is it a failure on your part? How did it breach your structure?
Yes, that's a great question. It's probably one of the most common questions I get. We live in the mountains and we don't have AC. It does get hot here during the day, but it cools off a lot at night. So it's nice to leave some windows cracked. We left a window cracked, maybe just about that much, on our second story deck. The bear climbed up onto the second story deck, was able to jimmy open that cracked window, pushed in the screen, and that's how it got in.
I would never have to, because, there's a small ounce of judgment I have for you. I'm like, dude, you will let a bear in your house. I mean, play stupid games, win stupid prizes, but cracking the window on the second floor, I mean, the bear worked for it. He Ocean's 12 shimmied it up, and he earned it, didn't he? So I'm going to withdraw the silent judgment I had for you. All right, the bear got in your structure. I mean, you see it. Was there a suspension of belief of there's a large black bear in my, and are you in boxers? What with a gun of what's your situation? I want to know everything. Walk us through this.
So, I mean, that's, everybody's seen me in my underwear now, so that's a little awkward, and maybe in the back of my mind, I had that it could be an animal. We live in bear country, and I've heard of bears breaking into houses here. So it wasn't too far out of the realm of possibility. It does happen. When I talked to sheriff and Parks and Wildlife.
I want to point out when the left says, oh, what do you need more than 10 rounds for? Ooh. This dude fired 10 rounds. If that bear wasn't dead, he would be. I mean, luckily for him, 10 rounds of 5.56 killed a bear. If, they try to restrict your Second Amendment based on, you don't need that. You don't know what you need until the situation is over.
Wildlife afterwards, they weren't too surprised that a bear got into a house. It does happen. But yeah, I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, no way. And then I was immediately like, well, I'm going to put this thing down if I can, or scare it out of the house. And then I had no choice.
Your backdrop seems to suggest that you might be a gun guy. You got guns all behind you and stuff. What gun did you take the bear down with?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. Everybody wants to know that. I've got it behind me. You want to see it?
I do. I want to see the gun.
Quick interruption, guys. We're talking about bear stuff. Did you know bears are just like criminals in one main way? They ignore gun-free zone signs, and they don't care about your rights. It's easy to get started. That's hillsdale.edu/WPS to enroll.
So 11.5-inch Geisley Super Duty in 5.56. I don't know if that's kind of blurring out there. There you go. Yeah. Surefire cam, that's another question I got a lot was, oh, I hope that guy, his ears are okay, right? Yeah, my ears are fine. Surefire, it's the Surefire RC2 Mini, light laser, EOTech.
I like how you're rolling.
Oh, thank you.
Good job. This is,
I know for a long time. Yes, I know for a long time that you were anti-suppressor for home defense. So I hope that you're okay having me on your show. Or maybe you changed your mind on that. I can't remember, but that was in the back of my mind for a long time. I'm like, oh man, John Lovell, he said no suppressor for home defense. I'm glad I had one on my gun. If in the video you can actually hear, my hearing's fine. I'm actually just whispering back to my wife in the video. So yeah, thankful I had a suppressor on. I do really enjoy.
I do like the idea of a suppressor for home defense. I just don't like the idea of telling the government I have a suppressor because, Ruby Ridge was a thing. Waco was a thing. The government doesn't care about your life. So, I'm not saying you should go get suppressors without following the law. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying, understand that if you get a suppressor through the legal means, you will be on a registry. You will be on a list, which if you're watching this, you're probably on a list anyways, whether it's an autistic list, a kill list, or a government list. You're on some sort of list, probably a watch list. They know what you look up at night. can't hide your porn from them forever.
Shooting, I shoot a lot. You know, it's a fun hobby, and I really enjoy it. And you know, I think you get accused sometimes of LARPing, and I think there's actually, like, if I could speak to masculinity on that, a lot of masculinity now is sort of a LARP. Like, you don't necessarily need to go to the gym and bench press 315. You don't necessarily need to shoot guns. Like, a lot of masculinity seems to be that way because we live in a society where, you know, you could just watch or look at Excel spreadsheets all day and go home and sit on your couch and eat Cheetos and wait for the next Marvel movie to come out, and that's totally fine. But I think masculinity does require a little bit of a LARP, and this is kind of my outlet for it. So
that's good. Hey, men are supposed to be protectors. That's right. And you protected your
That's
family.
right.
You got a
That's
wife.
right.
You got some kiddos running around, or what?
I have a wife. Yeah. So
all right. So the rest of this is not super important. It's just like this guy's story, family stuff. Not the most important. I mean, shout out to that guy for having 6 kids, and like, the dude's doing the Lord's work. Definitely A+ on the family part. I need more light over here. My face is dark. Like, this corner needs a light now. I moved my light, and my light is all falling apart, so it's kind of hard to move. I moved it over here, but now I think I need to move it like maybe more center. I don't know. I digress. The reason I wanted to show that, the reason I want to talk about that, a prepared citizen, it doesn't matter if it's a bear, if it's a crackhead, if it's a liberal trying to murder you. If you're prepared enough, things happen and you're like, okay. I'll give you an example. I'm real big into Jeeps. I like Jeeps. I like trucks. I like being out in the woods. I like going places that are hard to get to in a vehicle that is built to go places that are hard to get to. One of the issues with that is you buy parts, and they're very specific parts. The auto parts stores don't have these parts. A lot of times you have to order them online, or you have to go to a special 4-wheel drive store. You know, like you have to go to Barnes 4-wheel drive. These guys here. No, let's see. Can I show you my Barnes sticker? No. There you go. Yeah, these guys. Barnes 4-wheel drive. Really cool company. Actually, I kind of like that there. Is that better? I think that might be better. Anyway, I digress. Really cool company, Barnes. They have all kinds of cool goodies for Jeeps, trucks, all kinds of stuff. It's not what this is. They're not a sponsorship. My point is, it's you know, sometimes it's hard to have parts on hand because you have to order them from places like Barnes. If you've ever watched Matt's Off-Road Recovery, I mean, that dude has every 4-wheel drive shop sending him parts all the time. Part of preparedness would be if you have my Jeep, for example. I can't run stock drive shafts. So it would behoove me to buy a spare set of aftermarket drive shafts, because if I'm out in the middle of nowhere and I break a drive shaft, now I'm stuck. You know, especially with the way my Jeep's set up, especially if I break the front drive shaft, I'm really stuck, because I have both my front tires turn all the time, but only one of my rear tires turn. So if I break that front drive shaft, I don't even have 4-wheel drive. If I break the rear drive shaft, I've at least still got 2 tires going. If I break the front drive shaft, I've only got 1 tire going in the back. It would behoove me as a preparedness guy to, it would behoove me as a preparedness guy to have a spare set of drive shafts. Now, I don't, but I do have the axle shafts that go to the front wheels. I have a spare set of those because I have a locker in the front which ties both of my tires together, which creates an intense amount of pressure, especially in the front, because those wheels turn and they need to differentiate speeds. So what I do instead is I carry spare axle shafts for the front. Is it the perfect, yeah, now I'm good? No, but it's the most likely part to break. It's the most likely thing I'm going to damage. On top of that, those axle shafts have wheel bearings on them. So if I lose a wheel bearing and I'm going somewhere, I lose a wheel bearing, I can just change out that wheel bearing, that axle shaft. So I'm carrying 4 spare parts right off the get. It's hard to be prepared for stuff like that. When you're an outdoorsy guy and you're like, well, what parts should I bring? Obviously, it doesn't make sense to bring 2 front axles, 2 rear axles, and 2 drive shafts. That's a lot of weight to carry around. Now, if I were going across the country, maybe. If I were road tripping to California and I was doing a lot of off-roading the whole time on the way there and a whole time on the way back, I'd bring all that stuff. That's not the point of this video, though. The point of this is you don't know what you need when you're trying to be prepared, right? You're just trying to be prepared. What are you prepared for? Well, I don't exactly know what I'm preparing for, but I'll know it when I see it. That guy didn't prepare for a bear to break into his house. He probably prepared for a crackhead. He probably prepared for a person, but he wasn't prepared for a bear. I'm sure when he saw that bear, he was like, didn't have that on my list of things I was ready for. And I mean, good on him for having the training and the ability to just get straight to work. And the fact that there was a bear there didn't bother him. He was like, okay, bear, I got this. Take it out and, go on with my day. But it's hard to know what to prepare for. So when you have the left, when you have people like Joe Biden, you don't need a 30-round magazine. You don't? Because that guy shot 10. I counted. He shot 10. If he would have had a 10-round magazine, if he would have had a 5-round magazine, he's dead. He's not here to have that conversation. If he would have had a 10-round magazine, he could have been in trouble if that bear got back up. With a 30-round magazine, a standard capacity magazine, he had more than enough to deal with that bear. What if that bear had cubs? If that bear was in his house with cubs and the cubs charged him? Now, I don't think it's likely that a black bear, especially a black bear cub, would charge a person in a situation like that, especially after all that noise and that commotion. I don't think that a cub would charge somebody, but you never know what a cornered animal will do, especially an animal like a bear. If he would have shot all 10, bolt lock, and then there was a cub around the corner that came after him, he might not be here. He might be in the hospital right now. He might be all tore up. You never know. I hate when people try to say, oh, you're prepared enough. Oh, you have good enough preparations. I don't have good enough. I'm not prepared enough. Where's my night vision? I don't have night vision. I don't have lasers. I don't have any of that stuff. I need that stuff. Why? Because I'm preparing. What am I preparing for? I don't know. I'm preparing for a lot of situations. I'm preparing for society to collapse. I'm preparing for Russians to fall out of the sky. I'm preparing for a lot of things. None of this stuff matters, though, if you're not trained. Okay, my brother made a point, and he sounded really arrogant and really cocky doing it. Now, one of my brothers is real big into guns. My other brother's real big into Jeeps. My brother that's real big into Jeeps has a Jeep Cherokee, 35s, lockers front and rear, Dana 44 in the rear with like custom welded up shock mounts, and like he's got it so basically the whole underneath of the axle is smooth. Like there's nothing to get hung up on, nothing to get caught on. I mean, like he's put a lot of time and effort into this Jeep. He's put a lot of thought into how he's built this Jeep. He is, for all intents and purposes, a Jeep guy. He's got a lot of Jeeps, a lot of Cherokees. He took his Jeep to a Jeep festival, and there were brand new Wranglers and stuff set up very similar to his Jeep. 35s, lockers front and rear, like axles that you can't break. Even bigger than 35, 37s, 40s. And I mean, these Jeeps were probably bordering close to $60,000, $70,000, $80,000. He's got about $8,000 in his Jeep. Probably closer to 10 because he's changed it up a few times. just for argument's sake, we'll say $10,000. And his Jeep would outdo things that these $60,000, $70,000 Jeeps wouldn't do. These Wranglers wouldn't do it. And these people paid $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 for these Jeeps. They've got a ton of money into these Jeeps in modifications on top of the cost of the Jeeps, because they're buying the Rubicons, and then they're buying expensive aftermarket axles, they're buying expensive aftermarket axle shafts, they're custom building these Jeeps. But the people that are buying them after they're custom built don't know how to wheel. They don't know how to drive off-road. It's not a matter of, oh, my Jeep did more than that $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 Jeep. It's a matter of, yes, they have the equipment, but no, they don't have the training. They don't know when to use their lockers. They don't know how to use their lockers. They don't know to disconnect their sway bars. They don't know to air down their tires. They don't know what to do to make that vehicle perform A1. Any Joe can pick up a rifle and shoot it. It's like everyone says that the Charlie Kirk assassin had to be a professional. No, he didn't. With one range day, I could have you shooting, especially with a bolt gun, with a variable magnification scope. I can have you hitting targets at 200 yards all day, just one after the other, with a day of training. And I am not a precision shooter by any means. I was trained on CQB. I was trained on shooting and fighting up close in structures. I was not trained on shooting out at distance. The farthest I shoot is about 100 yards. And can I shoot farther? Yeah, of course. I mean, the fundamentals don't change. The only thing that changes is inside of my optic, there's a bullet drop compensator, and I need to start compensating for how much that round falls off. That's the only thing that really changes at distance. You need to start, at a certain distance, you need to actually start accounting for the time that the bullet's in flight as the earth rotates. That's called the Coriolis effect. There's also, depending on the twist rate of the barrel, the round can pull off to the right as it twists over distance. If there's too much twist, there's factors in it, but anywhere that I'm going to shoot, I'm not going to shoot farther than maybe 300 yards. So for me, training at 100, all I have to do is make the appropriate adjustments on my drop compensator. And if you don't know what a drop compensator is, it kind of looks like a triangle, but I mean, you can see through it. And it's got like hash marks that say 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, all the way down. I think mine goes to 800. Now, where I live in Appalachia, I'll probably never shoot that far. What's the farthest this goes to? Son of a bitch, I left the battery on again. Oh, I can't read it because I don't have my glasses on. Yeah, I can't read it without my glasses. Yeah, I can't read it without my glasses. And I left it on again, so it's not lighting up, so I really can't read it. I'm blind, I'm sorry. Do I have a spare battery? I don't know. Regardless, I think it goes to, I don't know, 600 or 800 meters. So if I'm shooting out to 600 or 800 meters, I need to understand bullet drop and the Coriolis effect and all that stuff. If I'm shooting out to, well, fuck. If I'm shooting out to 100 yards, 200 yards, 300 yards, I don't need to understand the Coriolis effect. I can just shoot, and then I can make the proper adjustments. I didn't realize how blind I was without my glasses. I'm like really, really blind. Like I can't read those fine little letters or numbers. I mean, my point though is the only reason this guy was able to smoke that bear and remain calm, cool, and collected is because he shoots a lot. That gunshot didn't scare him. When he pulled the trigger, he wasn't crapping his pants. He was like, oh, I know what this does when I pull the trigger. I know what it sounds like. I know what it feels like. If you've got a gun that you've never shot and you shoot it for the first time in that situation, you're not putting follow-up shots on target. You're crapping your pants because guns are loud and some of them kick like a mule. Even my AK has, well, it's not bad recoil, but it's like, oh, I shot a gun. It's not like shooting a 22. It's like, oh, geez, I shot a gun. Oh, that's... Like, you can tell there's some power behind it. Training is everything. Whether it's driving off-road and becoming... I'll give you another example. My nephew can kill hills on a dirt bike. We have the same dirt bike for argument's sake. They're geared a little bit different. Overall, same bike. They weigh the same. Mine's just street legal. He can ride the shit out of my dirt bike or his dirt bike. He can ride the shit out of either one of those bikes. Like, things that I couldn't think about doing, and he just does it because he rides the hell out of that bike all the time. I ride my bike a couple times a year. I'll putter, and when I do ride my bike, I'm just putting around like an old man. I'm just enjoying being out in the woods. I'm not killing hills. I'm not, he'll second gear up vertical hills. I can't. I'm not doing that. I have a job. I don't have health insurance. I got all these things going through my head. He's 16 and indestructible, so he's going to keep doing it. And good on him for doing it. I'm proud of him because he rides like a maniac, and like in the good way. And I'm proud of him for honing that skill. He has a skill that I don't have, and I'm proud of him for having that skill because he shows me stuff, and I'm like, oh, I can apply this. But I have two big fears. One fear is I don't have health insurance. I don't want to wipe out, and it's going to cost me a bunch of money. The other fear is I really love my bike. I wanted that bike for a long time. It took me a while to find that bike, and then I had to build that bike from when I found it. I had to get it running, and I had to put that bike together the right way. So I've got a lot of emotional attachment to my bike. So I'm not fond on the idea of making it halfway up a vertical hill and then having to let my bike tumble back down. Also, I'm afraid of making it halfway up a vertical hill and then me having to tumble back down. So between those two things, I'm kind of not a big fan of the idea of going to the hospital, and I'm kind of not a big fan of the idea of having to spend a year finding all the parts to fix my bike because I ain't shit. That being said, there are some times where I'll ride hard. Yeah, I've ridden I've done some pretty rough hills for me. There's a lot of people would probably look at it and be like, you call that a rough hill? I'm not good on rocks. I'm just terrible. I have no confidence when I ride a dirt bike. I just need to do it more and just get good. But, 2 jobs and a family is kind of makes it hard. So, but I digress. This has gone way over. This is almost an hour. So I apologize for that. But training is everything. Training is everything. If you're not training, you should be. Get to it. Get to work. Find something that you want to be a subject matter expert in and train it, and then train your friends in it. Whether it's boxing, jiu-jitsu, driving, whatever it is. And if you're doing it right and you have a big group of friends, hey, John, you're into shooting, aren't you? You should learn how to shoot long distance and then teach us, right? My brother, the one that's into guns, he wanted to be a sniper when he was in the Air Force. He got turned down a couple times and then finally said, I'm not re-enlisting unless I can be a sniper. And they said, sniper school's full. And he said, cool, I'm out. He likes long distance shooting. So, if 308 weren't so expensive, I would tell him, you become a subject matter expert in long distance shooting. He's already somewhat a subject matter expert in close quarters combat, but I can pick up that slack and train more in close quarters combat, learn more stuff about it, and teach him more while he's out training long distance shooting and then we can cross train each other and make each other better. He helped teach me how to ride a dirt bike. He grew up on dirt bikes. He helped teach me how to ride a dirt bike, which is part of the reason I'm not super confident on a dirt bike, is because I pretty much got a crash course and that was it. And when I say crash course, there's a lot of crashes involved. But the more friends you get that are into these kind of things, the more you can cross-train things. My IT guy, Carter, just figured out how to hack into an old laptop he had from school and turn it into a regular laptop because it was restricted. He couldn't do anything with it. He figured out how to hack that and learned how to disable the school's safety controls. That's something that we could apply to other situations. Or he could begin to teach me how to just work a basic computer, how to get into a basic computer, things like that. I mean, there's so much cross-training you can do. If you're a runner and your friend is a bodybuilder, you can cross-train each other and you can become better athletes together. It's all about training. If you're not trained, you're not going to do well when shit hits the fan. My wife, for example. My wife can drive a car. Well, most women can't, but my wife can. But my wife can't wheel the way I can. My wife can't, twist through all the trails and, the ups and downs and the twisty turns. She can't do that. She panics. She's not there yet. Eventually, I want to get her there, but it starts with learning how the vehicle functions. So I'm cross-training my wife on mechanical knowledge of the vehicle, on top of cross-training my wife on more technical driving skills, on top of cross-training my wife on at least being able to shoot a pistol in self-defense. I'm not so much worried about her being able to clear rooms and go to war with me, but I want her to be able to carry a pistol and use the pistol to defend herself if need be. The more we cross-train our friends, our loved ones, if you have brothers, train them. Why not? Training is everything. I can't say it enough. If you're not training, you're not doing it right. You have to train. And whether that's training in the cyber side of things, whether that's training in the gun side of things, whether that's training in the whatever your thing is, whatever tickles your tism, train in that. Learn that thing inside and out. Become a subject matter expert and don't stop until everyone you know knows how to do it. That's all I got. That is my advice for the day. I hope you enjoyed. I do apologize if this went a little bit too long for you. I didn't mean to tism quite so hard. I will work on my tism. No, I won't. I'm an uncontrollable animal and I will not apologize. Don't ask me to. I'll never apologize. That is one promise you will get from me. I will never apologize. Anything I say here, I mean it. At least when it comes to the training and stuff. I might say things when I'm worked up that I don't mean. It's getting hot in here though, because this computer is a furnace. So I'm done. That's all you get. Goodbye. Fuck, I missed. Goodbye. Uh-oh. I guess you get more.